Well, I'm here with Rob from Derby Runner. Welcome to Derby Business TV, and thanks for taking the time out. Hey, Rob, just tell us a bit about the journey and where have you been with the company so far?
Well, I'm co-director of the Derby Runner, along with Gareth Long, who has been involved with the business slightly longer than myself. He took the business on towards the end of the 90s from a couple called Pete and Calladine, who initially set the business up. Just coming up for 25 years ago. I came on board when I was at university, started working part-time, late 2000, then I graduated, and the idea was, at the time, the running was going very well. I was at a reasonably high level, so I made the decision to try and make a go of my athletics rather than a go at the shop initially. And there just seemed to be a course of coincidental events, major ones for me being injury, therefore the athletics didn't quite progress at the rate I wanted it to. But at the same time, the shop just business at the shop exploded. We started doing very well. So there was that opportunity there for more work. Gareth offered me a full-time post, which worked very well for me because obviously I was looking for extra income. So worked full-time at the shop pretty much from 2001 onwards, and became a partner in 2006, and I've been here.
So I guess there's been some some good times and maybe some challenges. Just let's walk us through what been maybe the highs and maybe some of the lows in the business, Rob.
Yeah, well, running generally has increased in participation levels over the last 10 to 12 years anyway. So while I've been here, certainly it's mainly been growth. So there's not, if I'm honest, been a huge amount of low points. It's always hard work. The type of business we're in, because we're specialists, is a struggle in terms of convincing people that it's worth coming to us instead of the high street. But we seem to be doing a decent job. So for us, because of the extra participation year on year in running events, and the interest in physical fitness always on the increase, people's awareness of health and maintenance of health, that helps us. So year on year we've grown up until a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, when we plateaued, and the hardest point probably came at the end of 2011 when everything was slowing down financially, as everybody knows, and the recession, coupled with the really bad weather that we had. That felt a big struggle for us. The turn of a year is always the time where we have the biggest amount of deliveries, and therefore obviously the biggest amount of invoices. So that product being dropped to us and obviously being invoiced for, and the footfall just not coming through the door due to the harsh weather and the media, as I see it, they didn't help at all.
No. So how did you front up to that? What did you have to do to steel yourself, for those sort of tough times and the cash flow sort of being under pressure?
Well, something that we've worked very hard on over the last 5 to 6 years, especially, is getting out there and meeting our customer base. Running and fitness in general, especially in Derby, from what we can gather compared to some of the other cities, is there's definitely a bit of a community spirit involved in running and fitness. So just becoming involved in that and almost becoming a bit of a cornerstone in that community, making people aware that we're here to support them, and then in turn hopefully then realising that if they support us, it's a two-way thing. So we go to lots of events. We go to lots of local running events, to local gyms, to local businesses such as Rolls-Royce and the fire service, places like that. Egg, when it was around, we would go there and work closely with them, and just forge relationships almost. Just to say, hey, look, there's still shops out there that can offer a particular service. So that's probably one of the biggest things. Just making people aware of the service that people should expect, but they don't anymore.
Yeah, and I suppose being a small company and you have to differentiate from the high street, service must be a very important part of the offer, if not the most important.
Yeah, that's key. Service is key for sure, and consistent service as well. Offering knowledge on our products, knowledge of our customers again. So it goes back to relationships. A lot of our customers would come in with a typical example would be they'd come in with last year's shoe. They don't even know what shoe it is. They just know it worked for them, and they want to know the next one. And they trust us that much that they will just say, "Well, can you tell me what the new version is?" And then it's up to us to put them in the right shoe. So you couldn't go to Sports Direct and get that. One, they don't know you, and they don't want to know you. And two, the staff probably wouldn't know what shoe was the new version. And that's where we come in.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I came down to buy my running shoes for running the London Marathon. The effort the team went here to make sure I had on the running mill, seeing how my gait was and my tread and everything. The detail we went to just to get sure that was in the right kit.
Yeah, that's something that's growing all the time. The amount of analysis that goes into deciding what sort of shoe you need. It's evolving now. In fact, in the last couple of weeks, we've become one of 15 retailers in the UK that New Balance have designated to be what they call a good form running advisor. So we now have the facility to not just analyse gait in terms of what shoe would suit, but also give a little bit of advice on running technique, for example. So the customer can come in and be filmed side on, and we'll give them a few pointers as to how to make their running style a little bit more efficient. So those sorts of things. Coupled with just good knowledge on every product we do, not just the shoes, the clothing, the GPS watches, the nutrition products, and hopefully that's why people come in.
And I suppose keeping yourself sharp around marketing is finding new clients and whatever is all important. What do you do to market the business here?
We do very well with the social media.
Okay.
So the Facebook, the Twitter. Since Jordan joined us, more or less full time in the last 12 months, we've started using Instagram as well, and they're all joined together. So rather than having it be an extra workload, it's just another avenue really to. So that's what we majorly concentrate on in terms of marketing. The social media, and then just the rest of it is again going back to getting out there, making people aware of us at events such as the Derby 10K, for example. So we don't just see that as an opportunity to sell product. The major reason we're there is not as exposing the business to a wider audience. The Derby 10K is the biggest running event in the city, and there's quite a few people running that race every year who have still not heard of us. So again, it's that opportunity to get out there and meet those people and make them aware that we exist and what we do. Yeah,
and you mentioned social media being important to you. Is there a way that you use Instagram or Facebook or Twitter? Is it around community, or is it around just?
I think the key for us is consistency in terms of how we communicate with our customer. So the way that we talk to our customer on that medium in the social media is hopefully the same as they would get when they come in store. So it's quite instinctive the way how we think of a product. If we think a product's quite quirky and worth having a bit of a laugh and a joke about, like we would do in store with a customer, that's how we'll present it on Facebook. If something's come out that's going to be quite serious or quite important to our customers, then we will just give them the facts. So it's all we play it by ear really. So we haven't got a particular media policy as such, or a marketing policy in that respect. But everything's quite instinctive, just how, because again reflecting the sort of personal service that we give here. Different characters come in, so we have to treat them slightly different.
And finally, if you had knowing what you know now, and someone who's thinking about setting out in business, have you got a top tip for businesses in Derby?
Get to know your customers, for sure. Just and get out there. Don't expect them to come to you. Don't just try hard to get to know your customer base and project your message to them. Let them know what your strong points are. Let your customers know what they're missing if they don't come to you. stick to your strong points.
Yeah.
Really.
Great.
That's probably the best message.
Great advice. Well, Rob, many thanks for taking the time out to join us on Derby Business TV today, and good luck in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Cheers.